This is Sean Garrison, online editor of Cordell & Cordell and DadsDivorce.com. Today we are joined by children's author Kimberly King. Kimberly is a child development professional, certified early childhood educator, and speaker. She has authored 2 children's self-help books, I Said No, a best-selling guide to sexual abuse prevention, and When Your Parents Divorce, a kid-to-kid guide to dealing with divorce. We will talk with Kimberly about her own experiences with divorce and how she uses children's books to help kids through the divorce process. Kimberly, can you start by telling us about your own experience working with children through divorce and why you were drawn to write children's books about the subject?
Sure. I grew up in a family of divorced parents, and my parents did what I think people call now like a collaborative divorce. They worked together, put the kids first, never said a bad thing about each other. And so for me and my family, the divorce wasn't really that dramatic. We all did fine. They worked together collaboratively on everything. So um, I got married and I was a teacher, so I learned, just by being with other students in my class, the effects of divorce, negative divorces. So I saw a lot of that through my students. And then, unfortunately, about 5 years ago, my husband and I went through a divorce. So I was motivated to write this book to help my kids, get through the process in a more positive way, based on how my parents did it and the things that were said to me and the strategies that worked for me as a child. So the writing of the book, the first book I wrote was that sexual abuse prevention book, and it's told from a kid's perspective. So what's neat about the current divorce book is that it has a character who's the child speaking in like kid-friendly, simple language, and it's just real clear and crisp and direct and gives a lot of positive ideas.
Your second book, When Your Parents Divorce, is written from the perspective of a child and her siblings whose parents are divorcing. Throughout the book, you include a series of interactive journaling and reflective exercises to help children understand the process of divorce. Can you explain why you chose this format for the book and how parents should use it to help their children through divorce?
Yeah, well, what the reason why I decided on that format is because it's engaging. So in the story, there are questions woven throughout, and so that you can take a minute with your child to just stop and discuss. And some kids are not comfortable sharing their feelings or talking with their parents about things, and they might not have a therapist yet or whatever, so they can go to the back of the book and it's kind of like a mini diary, and they don't have to show anybody, but they can get their feelings out. And there's a little throughout the book, there's a little pencil for a talking point. So if you wanted to talk with your parent, you would just chat and discuss. But if you weren't comfortable, you just go to the back of the book and write your own. And writing in a journal is a really therapeutic thing to do for kids, because when they keep all that inside, it just builds up, and then you get more problems than needed. But it just encourages talking, and the whole book has talking points and then follow through journaling in the back.
Your first book, I Said No, deals with sexual abuse prevention for children, which seems like it would be a very difficult subject to write an appropriate children's book for. Can you describe how you approached this topic and managed to write a children's book that was both suitable and educational for children?
I'll show you the cover. That's it. Um, and it was a difficult topic to talk about. I was motivated through an experience we had in our family. My, at the time, 5-year-old boy had an issue at a sleepover, pretty much like a big scare. And I picked him up in the morning and he told me what happened. And so through a series of journal writing that he and I did, and just talking through the topic, we realized that some of these things that we were talking about were really important, like strategies to like identify when you might be in a dangerous situation, and then how to make a plan as a kid to get out of it. So that's essentially what he did on this night. This little boy was trying to get him to do things and trying to get, involved in this whole situation. And so he told the mom first, and then the mom kind of just blew it off. And then he came up with his own plan, and he just ended up locking himself in a bathroom. So he got himself out of the situation even when an adult wouldn't help. And so the book is full of scenarios that kids might encounter. It's not so much like the stranger on the street who's going to kidnap you. It's not about that. It's about like just identifying your feelings when you know that something's not right. And we have throughout the book red flag feelings. So like it teaches them to identify like if they're worried, if they're feeling uncomfortable, if they're like a little hesitant about something, if something doesn't feel right, it usually isn't right. And so they would learn how to take steps to make it right or get themselves out of the situation. So it's actually, there isn't any, language in there that might turn a child or a parent off. It's just more about like teaching them boundaries and the rules about who is able to see them and touch them and why, and then establishing red flag behaviors. And it's full of scenarios so that kids can rehearse what to do with their parent, what to do if they find themselves like one of the scenarios in there is about a babysitter wanting to play a game, and why your red flag would go off if your babysitter asked you to take your shirt off. Like it's just preparation through repetition. And then at the end of that book as well, it finishes with like, why don't you finish this story and write your own scenarios and practice your own scenarios with your parents, so that you're just repetitively preparing the child for what they might encounter. But a big piece of sexual abuse prevention. My book is a great tool, but more important than that is parents learning not to put their kids in situations. There's a whole lot of prevention parents can do. This book is great, but you really as a parent have to check out where your children are where your children are going. Are they at a daycare that's certified by the state? Do they follow appropriate procedures? Your babysitters, your coaches, your Boy Scout leaders. Got to make sure everybody's accountable and they all have policies and procedures to keep kids safe.
And are there any other books you're currently working on?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of working on a kid's, it's going to be, well, the title is still up for debate, but it's about fitness, nutrition, and self-esteem for kids. And I'm working on that with a guy named Jim White, who is, I live in Virginia Beach, Virginia, so he is a local fitness kind of guru, and he's working in the community to motivate school systems to have a fitness, nutrition, and self-esteem kind of curriculum. So we've been working together on that, and it's going to be a kid-to-kid guide, just teaching kids to be their own advocates for health, like very basic information about nutrition, very basic things about what they can do by themselves at home to stay fit and active, and then teaching kids coping and self-esteem building methods that they can use daily in their lives. So that's an exciting thing. We should be having, I think that should come out probably in April or May. So.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining us today, Kimberly. We really enjoyed having you on Dad's Divorce Live.
Good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That was children's author Kimberly King. For a chance to win a copy of both of Kimberly's books, like or share this video on social media, and you'll be entered in a drawing with a winner randomly selected on May 6th. For more articles on children's of divorce, make sure to visit dadsdivorce.com. This has been Sean Garrison. Thank you for watching Dad's Divorce Live.